If this is your first time loading NLign 7.1 or higher, then you may be wondering where the filter tab went. Starting with NLign version 7.1, the trending filter editor tab has been replaced with the data tab. The filters that were in previous versions of NLign have been converted to what are now called datasets. To access them, go to the icon located next to Loaded Datasets that looks like an inbox with an orange arrow. If you hover over it, it will read Load an existing dataset. Here you should see a list of all the previous filters that have been converted. You can select an individual dataset or multiple at once. Once the datasets have been loaded, if you click on a dataset and the multi-window icon next to it, NLign will apply that dataset to all the open windows. With the release of 7.1, each window can have a separate dataset which is active for it. When you go to the individual window, you can see which dataset is active for that window in this drop-down bar. You can select different datasets for the window by clicking on the drop-down. The first section that appears is the loaded datasets. You can kind of think of loaded datasets as favorites, as they allow you to quickly access and apply them. To edit an existing dataset, double-click it, or click the pencil or edit icon up at the top. Your converted filter should look something like this, with the server icon at the top, any of your previous filter criteria in the middle, and a monitor icon which represents the output at the bottom. On the left of this dataset editor window are the search fields that you can add to your dataset criteria. On the right is where all the criteria is stored. And this area will also be where calculations and user inputs will go, but we will talk about those in another video. To add new criteria for the dataset, click and drag the field you'd like to filter on from the left to the right. The order in which criteria are listed matters, so make sure you keep that in mind. There are a few tools you can use to find the field or fields you are looking to filter by. The top section is organized by fields that are common across all trendable types. The bottom is all other fields. You can reduce the number of fields that show up here by typing into the filter toolbar up top, and it will reduce those fields to just those that contain the word length, like as shown. Another way I can reduce the number of fields that appear under the all category is by changing the show fields for drop-down category to a specific trendable type that I'm interested in gaining more information about. For example, I could choose aircraft status, and then I have the trendable type fields that are associated with aircraft status. If you click and drag equivalent flight hours over to the right, you can set the parameters of your dataset criteria, similar to previous versions of NLign. If you want to make a dataset public, click the person icon at the top next to the name of the dataset, and change the drop-down from private to public so that other users can see the same dataset. I recommend always trying to give a brief description once you make the dataset public so that other users can understand the purpose and intent of this dataset. Don't forget to hit save. If you have any questions about NLign, please feel free to contact us at info@nlign.com. To be notified for more videos about how to get the most out of your NLign database, don't forget to subscribe.